And here we are. Bam.
This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
I'm not sure
This
if it's
is a
showing or not
presentation
showing.
of Northeast Streaming Sports.
Number 5, second
What's up, everybody? Are we on right? We're on. Hold on. There we go. Let's see if we got this. There we go.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, man. I tell you, it's hard to do a show when you are at a baseball game, but that's what's happening tonight. That's right. I am supporting the Philadelphia Phillies as they're making a playoff run, and they're playing against the Atlanta Braves. But there is football in the air. We are playing tomorrow. We only have the one guy who didn't show up, and I want to let him start off because he's got a lot to talk about from last week.
Well, I figured, since I didn't show up last Wednesday, neither did the Giants. So we have that in common. There's nothing to explain anything. When you lose 40-0, you just gotta, own it, learn from it. And so just so you know, like last night I did my show and I said it's on to Arizona. So the rest of the day, the whole day today at work, of course, I'm still getting, I live in Dallas and I'm still getting the, what happened question. But I told everybody at work, look, it's Wednesday, it's on to Phoenix. So I'm taking an hour, just this hour, to kind of go back and reflect on the weekend. But after this show is over, it's on to Arizona.
Okay, so let's break it down as simple as possible. What happened?
It's what happened. I mean, everything. It's quicksand. That's the best way to put it. We looked good the first drive. We looked really good, and I'm thinking, I don't want to say it was like I mean, everybody was anticipating what the Giants were going to do this season and how we were going to perform and how well we were going to perform, with all the additions with Waller and, the re-signing of Jones and Saquon and even with, the draft with Hyatt and Banks and yeah, man, I don't know. It just it all just like it just all collapsed. So okay, before we go on, I'll say this. I'm somewhat superstitious. Okay, so I believe things happen in threes. Okay, so for example, you had the Andrew Thomas false start. Okay, and this all happened on the first drive. Okay, you had the Andrew Thomas false start. Okay, fine, whatever. Then you had the messed up snap. Okay, and then we lined up for the field goal. And when we lined up for the field goal, like I said, things happen in threes. I already had a gut feeling when they were lining up, and then I noticed that they were heavy on the right side, and I'm like, this is not going to be good. And then next you know it, you hear the ball through the TV set. They run it in, and the only good thing that I can say is that they missed the extra point. But then that was the only good thing. And I mean, I'm not going to make any excuses if Gilmore, if that was an interception or not. Hey, they called it on the field, so it must have been. But everything went wrong. But one thing I'll say about the Giants is the fact that Dable didn't make any excuses. In his press conference, he took the blame. He said, "This is on me." Obviously, we got beat on all phases of the game. Yeah. And the press kept pressing him, well, what went wrong? What happened? Where do you think you can improve? And, his response was, when you lose 40-0, everything. So, everything you can improve on. So, and then, I really appreciate, Dex stepping up, taking responsibility. And then Jones even said, look, I got to make smarter decisions. I shouldn't have thrown that ball. But I see where he was coming, what he was trying to do. When you try and make things happen, it has to flow. You can't force it. And that's what he did on that Gilmore interception. But, like I said, it's on to Arizona.
Hey, I understand that. What's up, James? Good to see you. We got an Eagles fan, Phillies fan. He's usually on here. I can't turn it because it's hard to do, but got my buddy Jim. He's just stopping up to say hello.
Cowboys!
That's right.
G-L-E-S, Eagles!
Let's go. So, of course, I got a chance to watch some of the game, and it was tough to watch. It was tough to watch. Now, I was in a bus on the way home, and I'm getting updates because I'm on TikTok Live as the game's going on, and on my way home. So it's an hour. It was an hour and a half ride,
right?
And I'm like, I can't watch the game because I'm on with you guys, so I need to get updates on the score. And they're saying it's 16-0, it's 23-0, it's 33-0. I'm like, wow. It's just going over. And then I got to watch the last little bit, and they only scored 7 more points after that. So, I mean, it was a rough game for you to have to take.
It wasn't. It was beyond saying it was a rough game. It's still a compliment. Saying it was it was complete shock. Complete shock. It was just yeah.
Wow. I guess Mac had a lot to say. It's funny because I said, hey, what happened to your G-men? And he goes, I don't know what G stands for today. It's not Giants. I said, how about God awful?
Yeah. I was about to say, good God. That's what it means. It's so let me tell you, I was watching the game at the Giants. Well, shoot. What's up, Drew?
What's up, brother?
I was hoping you didn't come today.
You and probably
No, I'm kidding. It's good to see you. It's been a minute. It's good to see you.
Oh,
Seriously.
yeah, brother.
We were. I guess the Giants played this weekend. I guess that's what we're talking about. I don't know.
Did you make it up to the game, True?
No.
How about that? I understand.
Yeah, and I didn't go to the game because I'm going to Arizona this weekend. So we stayed back. Like I was telling everybody, of course we're talking about the game, whatever. I was watching the game at Buffalo Joe's here in Dallas, Texas. It's a Giants bar. It's actually a Patriots Giants bar. So when I walked in, they were showing the Patriot Philly game just before the push out of bounds and the game was over, like maybe last 4 minutes. But I want to say people started to filter out about midway through the second quarter of the Giants game. And I remember my wife, Mama Boss, she said to me, you want to get ready to go? And I said to her, nope, we're staying for the whole game. I said, if they're going to be out on the field, we got to be out here supporting them. And, we watched the game until the bitter end. And it's not even, I can't even say a tough pill to swallow. It was like I was swallowing dirt. I mean, it was just so bad. And the one thing I was saying, True, and I'll repeat it again for you, that the only good thing, and there is no good thing, losing 40-0, is the ownership that, Coach took. He took the ownership of the whole game. And I'll say this, I don't, some Giant fans, I mean, I get it. We're passionate. We love our team, but some of the overreaction is, it's crazy. I mean, people are saying that should we fire him or we should fire, Dable. And I'm like, what?
The coach of the year?
Yeah. What? I'm like, no. John Mara is not Jerry Jones. You're not going to fire a coach that won you back-to-back Super Bowl. I'm sorry, Jerry Jones did do that. But I'm just like, no, calm down. And then, of course, people want to bring up Jones. Okay, look, it is one game. All right. It's basically a 2-year contract. If it doesn't work out this year, next year, we're moving on. I mean, there is so much overreaction. And I'm not, I don't want to say I'm numb to it, but I'm kind of numb to it. I'm just like, yeah, okay. I don't want to say I expected it, but at the same time, I did expect it. So what do you, go ahead, Blue. Go ahead. Just let's get it over with.
No, it was an interesting game. And I was looking at the facts of what we were going into the game. And I knew our defense was going to be fast. And from the very first snap, you saw how fast the Dallas Cowboys defense was. And that's just Coach Quinn's attitude. Even when he was in Seattle, he always wanted to build up that speed. And that's what I've been saying all offseason, is that he is going to put in charge the folks that he finds, capable of being leaders. And he's found them. And not only that, he's found the speed that he needs on the defensive side of the ball. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to go in there and gloat about, what the Cowboys did. I mean, it is good what they did. It's game one. It's the first game of the season. We're going into the Jets.
You can gloat a little bit.
No, I'm not.
You can gloat a little bit. I mean, 40-0 is pretty impressive.
It is impressive.
So how much? So beyond that, now I'm not gonna make an excuse for either team. How much was the weather affecting the play?
I don't think any. I mean, they both played in it.
Yeah, I don't think any of the weather was affecting as much as people think. It was the scheme of things on both sides of the ball. From the defensive play calling. I mean, if you look at some of the lineups that were, some of the scenarios, how the Cowboys were lining up against the Giants, I mean, you knew what they were going to run right off the bat. I mean, when you're over, I had 4 guys on the left-hand side, and I only had 1 guy on the right-hand side, literally with 2 guys in between, 2 tackles. You had a guard and tackle in between 2 defensive players. So I had 4 and 1. I mean, and we still got to the quarterback. I mean, it was just speed. That's what that game was. I mean, it rained a lot. Don't get me wrong. The balls weren't going to be thrown the way they should be, but I don't think weather had anything to do with it. I think it was play calling on both sides of the ball.
I'll say this: so I did have a Dallas Cowboy fan sitting next to me the whole game, and that's because we had a bet going. Now he's getting a belt. The one thing he kept saying over and over, because like when you guys were up 26-0 at halftime, he still wasn't sold that the game was over. He still felt that, if Dakota, and I'm quoting him, because he used the word Dakota, if he could find a way to lose the game. And I'm just like, I'm sitting here. Now, of course, I'm trying to have some hope, 26-0 at halftime, one of the biggest comebacks in NFL history, which obviously didn't happen. And, I'm sitting here thinking that maybe, and I'm not saying all Cowboy fans, but I'm gonna say some Cowboy fans maybe feel this way, that the less amount of time Dak has the ball, the more likely the Dallas Cowboys would win. Because every time Dak would drop back, this Cowboy fan was just like, "Oh fuck!" I mean, I'm sorry, I mean to cuss, but he was like, "Oh crap, here we go." He did not have, and I'm not saying he represents all Dallas Cowboy fan base. But I'm going to say there's, and again, I'm not dogging Dak. I'm just telling you my observation, right?
No, that's because the media has done its job. That's because they let it, they're gaslighting every situation that Dak's ever been in, and they keep going to, well, he threw 15 interceptions. Okay, that's fine. That season was last season. This season's this season. Right. Now, what fans have to remember is that Kellen Moore is no longer the offensive coordinator, and I keep saying this. Right. Now, there was a couple of times the offensive play calling where he switched it up, could have got him in trouble. Luckily, it didn't because of the play selection that he had to go to. Now, I'm going to say this again. Coach McCarthy knows exactly how to work with quarterbacks. He knows what Dak Prescott needs. He's not going to be putting them in a 50 pass situation per game, type scenario. And that's why I keep saying with McCarthy calling the plays, he knows what he's going to get and what he's going to expect from Dak Prescott.
I had a feeling too that once you guys went to the running game more so, and again, that's not taking anything away from Dak, that was going to be our Achilles heel. Neither quarterback threw a touchdown pass, but
I mean, he threw for 60 yards. I figured the run. You only ran the ball because of the rain.
Oh yeah, no, that was a certain. That was one of the biggest reasons they started running the ball. But two, the ball was being thrown and the routes were being ran. It was just more of the play calling that McCarthy was going to be doing, and you're going to see it going forward.
I think more so. With the team having the lead as they did, it's football 101. You run the ball, it takes time off the clock, and and I think Tolbert, he had pretty good yards. What was it, 100 and something, 120 plus? I want to say. I could be wrong. I need to double check. But for us, it was just so bad. Let me tell you, and I'm going to tell you how bad it was for me. This is how bad it was for me. I had 3 people that I haven't even talked to. What's up, Pork Rind? Oh, you're coming in at perfect time. Perfect time. Good to see you, man. Nice beard. I'm a little jealous. And nice beard too, True. No offense, because you beat the dog mess out of us on Sunday. But I had 3 friends call me, and one of them I remember talking, and he was like, "Oh, I just want to make sure you're doing good." And I'm like, "Yeah, man. What do you mean? What's going on?" "Well, I mean, I saw the game Sunday. You mother." And then he was like, "Well, I'm gonna let you go." No. Now you call me, we gonna catch up. What's up? What's going? You ain't gonna hang up after you. And then one of my best friends who I'm gonna be hanging out, who's an Eagles fan, by the way, Philly. We're gonna be hanging out Saturday. He's actually coming to the game with me. This MFer not only said, "Really?" He sent the score to me, the scoreboard. Like, I don't even know what the score, I don't know what the score is. Really? But, I digress. And I had an executive manager in my area come down just to do a health and welfare check, make sure I was doing all right.
They take away your shoelaces and everything too.
They did, yes.
They had you on suicide watch. I figured.
And they weren't going to take my belt because then my pants would fall down.
It wasn't.
Then
it
I'd
was a
be
good thing
sexual
we weren't
harassment
up there because that Brooklyn Bridge was pretty close.
They only allowed them to wear Velcro shoes that day.
Right. And then I had to wear a Velcro. No, let me stop. They don't see those only come in, one size fit all. So I have to wear two of those, So.
There's a lot that went on in that game, and I knew it was what I expected going into that game, what we were going to do. And the thing is, now we're on to week 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yes. you have the Aaron Rodgers-less Jets. Yep. Let me pause for a second. I want to give my heart out to the Jet fan base because I was watching them on Hard Knocks Life. I was getting excited for them. I was happy, even though, Aaron Rodgers is not one of my favorite players, but you don't want to see people hurt.
No.
And my heart does go out to the fan base. The new season ticket holders, everybody that was locked in and committed. I hope he comes back next year. I think he will because the type of person he is. But
he posted on Instagram or somewhere on social media that he plans on being back.
That's good. And I'm going to tell you, when I saw the way his leg, the way it like popped forward, I'm like, oh, that's not good. I'm like, that is not good.
Now, I was at the game, and the excitement that all the Jets fans had when he was announced and he ran out, with the American flag, and they were. That stadium was loud. I probably never.
You were at that game?
Yeah, I went to that.
How about that?
What was that?
I said, how about that?
Yeah, I ended up going. I came back from the Commanders game Sunday night and woke up, got on a plane and went to the game. Surprised my buddy Tailgate Joe and attended his tailgate. And it was a good time. But you can hear a pin drop after Aaron Rodgers got hurt.
I believe it.
Oh yeah.
The whole stadium just deflated. But then, they got back into the game and got loud again. So.
And the crowd as Jeff speaks.
Right.
Yeah, I don't doubt that one bit. The basically opening ceremony was pretty much what that was going into that game. And you can see it on TV, and I was looking at it the whole way, and I was just like, okay, so, what's he going to do? How's this going to be seen in week 1 when the Jets go out there? And then
the most watched Monday Night Football of all time.
Really?
The most watched Monday Night Football game of all time. 28 million people were watching.
Wow.
They probably had it
wow.
Because I can't stand Joe Buck, but
yeah, and that's the thing is that's what the Jet season was looking at, and it was just like, okay, did you get your $75 million guaranteed? You got to think about that. 75 seconds, $75 million.
And also, how do you win a game but lose at the same time?
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Oh,
I almost forgot. Hold on.
I like Coach coming out saying what he said. He said that the season's not over yet. The season's not over yet, and when we play the Jets next week, it'll be a telltale sign. I'll tell you that much.
Better defense. Jets got a better defense, and they're going to have to start to win games with their defense.
Oh yeah,
I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, I know that they're talking about getting another quarterback. I've heard Wentz. I've heard Nick Foles. I heard about maybe trading for Brissett. There's a lot of different things that are out there. There are a lot of different quarterbacks. I guess they'll see what's going to happen. From there.
Yeah, for a moment, there was like, Tom Brady was going to come back, and Tom was like, no. And even the Jets were like, we are not pursuing Tom Brady.
Tom Brady looks small.
He does.
I'll talk about that. I'll talk about that in a little bit, but he looks very small.
Yeah, he does look. He didn't look right when he was in that ceremony. I only saw a little bit of it anyway. But that was kind of interesting. Oh yeah, because you actually saw him.
I did.
You actually saw him. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that happen when you're done with football. I mean, look at Joe Thomas. Offensive lineman looks like a running back now. So
right.
I just see the Jets trying to come in riding off the wave that they had on Monday night, but it's just, we'll talk about that later.
Well, I mean, they're in a tough division anyway. That AFC East is just loaded.
And both AFC are pretty.
Yeah, but it sucks for us being the only team not to score. That's just not even 3 points, really.
Yeah. So, they had a sellout crowd in Andover, Maryland. Is that where it's at? Andover. Yeah, with dumb fries, man asses. That's all the same spot to me. It's Washington country, and in man asses, the Washington team won.
They did. It was an ugly win, but a win's a win. And
shut up, ugly win. Shut up. You would take an ugly win over a pretty loss any day. But anyway, I'm sorry. I look. Poor Grant, I apologize. I'm frustrated right now.
Hey, Sneaky, I get it. And by the way,
I'm on it. I'm good. I'm sorry. Continue. This is your moment. My bad.
He's used to you being this guy. He's used to you being the beat up guy.
Dallas just scored again too.
That's why I got mad, because I saw the report too. That's all I did.
So what were your thoughts on both the offensive side and the defensive side of the ball? What you saw week one on your team?
Yeah. I liked what I saw defensively. I mean, we only gave up 9 points. They did score 10 points off of turnovers. I mean, one was a defensive touchdown. The other one was a field goal. So, I mean, they really only had 2 drives that got into, our territory where they scored 6 points off of. But, offensively, like I thought, our offensive line is probably the weak part of our team. We gave up 6 sacks. I think it was like 10 to 12 pressures.
40-0 on opening night must be rough. Well, it's not pleasurable, to say the least.
Yeah.
So on your offensive side of the ball, what were the sparks? What did you see from your offensive side of the ball that made your team really stand out?
I mean, Hal being able to take a hit, I guess. I don't know. I mean, he got up and kept on going. I will say this, though. Cardinals, man, I mean, I know last year they led the league in penalties. They are very undisciplined. And the unnecessary roughness calls. I mean, good God, they probably could have got 3 more that they didn't call. And there's, I don't know if you guys saw the video, but there's a video out there when Hal he slid and they hit him. One of the other guys put him in like a scissor headlock and slammed his head on the ground.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah.
I did see that.
They didn't call, and granted, they didn't call anything on that, but it's just there was quite a few. It almost looked like the head coach had like a bounty gate on him, because there was a lot of plays that were just like, come on, man. That was really
and the rain. It was raining during your game as well, wasn't it?
off and on. But a lot of these hits happened when it wasn't raining, so it wasn't like, oh well, they slipped or anything like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, but yeah, offensively, I wasn't that impressed. How many tight windows? I think we only threw the ball. I mean, we had it was it was either the first or second drive. 40-yard pass to McLaurin, which they ended up pulling him down before the ball got there. So it was a PI call. But they really didn't throw the ball down there. But, I mean, it could be because of the weather too.
Gotcha.
But yeah, defensively, I mean, they were stout. I mean, the defensive line did really well. Jack Del Rio in the second quarter started, calling some blitzes, and then from there on, they kept on. So they started out slow, but then throughout the game, so our defense and special teams definitely won the game for us.
So you're confident in the defense. It sounds like you're optimistic somewhat about your offense, even though it's it is week 1 again. This is basically we need 4 weeks to get wound up and start.
Yeah.
I was just about to ask y'all that. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is week 1, so hopefully, like I said, I saw a lot of good in Hal. I mean, he made some. The interception was a deflected pass. Now the fumble, he needs to know when to take a sack or get rid of the ball. So he's still learning. I mean, this was only his second start.
Yeah.
Next week will be his first start, away. So that'll be interesting to see how he does, with a loud atmosphere. So we'll see.
All right, on.
And you guys had 6 sacks?
Yeah, our defense played great, like I said, but offense gave up 6 sacks. We had 2 or 3 interceptions that were dropped. I mean, it could have been, some of those field goals could have been taken away had those interceptions been caught. So overall, I mean.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Oh, for you guys to be Cardinals? Yeah, you should be able to. You should be able to score at least 3 points.
Okay, good. Hey, you know what? At first, I was like, if we win by a field goal, I'd be worried. But hey, a win on the road in the NFL? Yeah. No, I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
Especially from a team that's tanking.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, there's already reports that they're tanking for the quarterback next year. But the one thing that you mentioned out is that they had 3 personal fouls and they could have been called for more. Bad teams, that's how they play. And that is definitely something that happens with bad teams specifically. So that doesn't surprise me a little bit. And I think that coach stinks.
Yeah.
So, but that being said, it still was really tight. So the fact that your offense hadn't really put it all together, how do you feel about going into this week?
I'm hoping it's a totally different offense that we see on the field, to be honest with you.
Who do you got this week?
We've got Denver.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if we offensively play the way we did, we'll lose. There's no question about it. Our defense,
Are you guys playing at home or away?
In Denver. Yeah, this is Hal's first start away. So
yeah,
starting away and with the air pressure and stuff like that, the atmosphere and such. In Denver against a team that's really desperate.
Yeah.
That team has got to be very desperate right now.
Yeah, and
it's not.
And they've got some good players on defense too.
Well, it's not that just the Denver Broncos are desperate. It's that the Denver Broncos are in search of who they are. They're looking for an identity right now, and Russell Wilson is not that identity. Sean Payton is not that identity. It it's not a head coach quarterback situation that is going to work out. I see two disgruntled people from the head coach to the QB, and you can see it on the field. I don't know, from the highlights that I saw, you can see it on the field that there is no conversation happening there.
At first with Sean Payton, when he came to the defense of Russell, saying that one coach was the worst coach in NFL, okay, I get it. You're trying to defend your guy. But then when you come back and you there's a comment of you saying, stop kissing the effing babies. Yeah. You're not running for office. I mean, to me, that's saying more than meets the eye, if you will. So you want to talk about some disgruntled. Look, Russell Wilson is that, hallmark type player, whatever. And
I'm gonna stop you. He was a hallmark type player. He isn't anymore. And I've said this for years. It's been 3 years that he has been not that guy. Yep. And I tell you, I hope Mac's still watching, because they says he's a Hall of Famer. I'm telling you, he's not. No, it's questionable. It's questionable whether he's a Hall of Famer. I think he had it for a while. He did great in Seattle when he was in the right system. He's older now. He doesn't put in the same amount of work as he did before, and that's the problem. That's the difference. So I feel that's why he's not doing the things, and they're not doing the things.
Well, I'm sorry. Let me just get this point off, and I'll let you go too. Now, I don't know about his work ethic, but when you said Philly, he's not the guy anymore, I quickly remembered when you had Sherman and Marshawn on a show talking about how you can't even talk to Russell without going through his people. So I think it's his team around him that's being that negative influence. And I don't know who hired that team. I don't know if it was Sierra or if that was him himself, but maybe the people around him are giving him, that's wrong perceptions.
I see him as being more occupied outside of football than inside, and I think his head coach was trying to put it to him easy by saying, stop kissing the babies. He's basically telling him to get to work.
Right.
Because as QB1, you got to be in that office before everybody, and you got to leave after everybody. Yep. Regardless of your marriage status, regardless of your kid status. That's why you're in the NFL. You made it there for a reason. And I think that was just an easy way of Sean Payton trying to call him out and putting him on notice and say, hey, get to work, man. But it doesn't seem to be that way because, it was just awful. And again, I didn't see the whole game. I just saw the highlights. Of course, it's going to be awful. But when you lose like that with a brand new head coach and a supposed whoever said he's a future Hall of Famer, I don't think it's good for the fan base as well. I think you have a spoiled marriage right there between the head coach and the QB.
Well, now let's not overreact too much. They'd only lost by 1 point. And he didn't throw any. I don't know if he committed any fumbles, but I know he didn't throw any picks. And he threw for maybe 200 yards or so. Now granted, they didn't win the game. They didn't win the game. That's the bottom line.
Now I did say that it is week 1 preseason, but see there's
177. I said 200.
There's something there with that head coach and quarterback situation. Unlike our teams, our guys have been there for over a year. Our head coach has been there for a year. Our QB1's been there for a year. So there's nobody disgruntled with that situation with the new onboarding of the head coach and Russell Wilson getting his year 2 in there, and Sean Payton also changing the whole system in its entirety has to put things off for Russell. He probably had the call and had everything under his demeanor when he had a new head coach and he was a new QB. And now that Sean Payton's there, it's like, whoa, I'm the guy in charge, not you. It's my rules, not yours.
All right, well, listen, I'm tired of talking about all those teams out in the West and whoever else that you guys are playing. We'll talk about the Broncos in a little bit because there was another game that happened.
Exactly right.
You know what I mean? And it started out great for us in the middle of a downpour, and then it stopped raining. And I will say that if you want to talk about rusty, I would say that my team is rusty.
Yeah, your quarterback did look rusty.
He didn't play in the preseason, and Belichick had a good game plan for him.
Yep.
So, and was able to really actually execute the game plan. So it's one thing to have the game plan, but you also got to be able to execute it. And he was able to execute it. He actually knows how to take care of. He had no outside lanes to get anywhere. And that was a big deal. Every time he tried to get somewhere, he had to turn around. And every time he had to turn around, he got sacked.
And see, here the thing that I was seeing was the rush. What did he have, 75 yards rushing?
I think the whole team did.
Yeah, and see that right there. I know it was raining again and everything else, but when those were designed plays for him to run. And that's what
Philly had 97 yards rushing.
That's what kind of surprised me was were the Eagles trying to go to something to, try and surprise Belichick with these design runs, because they were just shut down. And again, it's from what I'm seeing from the highlights. I saw part of the game, but but Belichick had all summer to prepare for you guys, and he knew what.
Yeah. I agree. And when Belichick likes to butter somebody up, that means he's going after you.
Oh yeah.
So, and that's his calling card. So I knew that Jalen Hurts was going to have a tough day. And he was able to get some things to happen and make some things occur. But for the most part, it was tough. And I will say that the rain maybe helped us a little bit. The pass that slipped off the one guy's hands and into for the pick six to Darius Slay, the fumble on the very next play to get us to the 30-yard line so that we could just go in and score a touchdown.
Yeah.
Those are big plays. Those are big plays. And without those plays, it's possible that we don't win that game.
Well, then, and now you got a short turnaround.
Well, the short turnaround I'm not as concerned about, because we're at home for that, and that's a bigger deal for us than it is for the Vikings. And I don't want to get into the Vikings game. They're another desperate team.
Yeah.
So they're going to be playing really difficult. They're going to come in here, and Kirk Cousins hears how he can't play when the light's on him.
On the last year of his contract.
Yeah. And he can't get franchised.
Nope.
So that means somebody's got to pick him up.
Yep.
And,
Philly, let me ask you a question, though. Aren't you worried a little bit the fact that Matt Jones, I don't know about you guys, and I think Juju Schuster's the only one that I can actually name the wide receiver off of the Patriots who threw for over 300 yards. I mean, are you concerned about the passing defense? Just a little bit?
Bradbury being out, and he went into concussion protocol, makes me a little concerned. Our safety Blankenship is questionable because he's got a rib injury. So there is a little bit of a concern, especially since you got Jefferson coming, and that's going to be a big deal. So when I talked to other people, they said that there was more blitz than I noticed. I wanted more blitz. And there were a few blitz that actually worked really well. Like there was one specifically that I saw that finally sacked him in like the fourth quarter. And I'm like, why aren't we seeing more of these type? And I was told that there was more blitzes than I saw. I was in the end zone, which was maybe a little bit more difficult to see, especially in the rain and such like that. So I'll go on the fact that I didn't see as many blitzes, but they just didn't get to him fast enough. And that's what I was concerned about. So the defensive line's got to get to the quarterback and got to get a little bit more pressure. Now, the Patriots' offensive line wasn't a bad offensive line. They've actually got a pretty good offensive line. So that's going to be one of the bigger differences tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think that the Minnesota line isn't as strong. I mean, he still threw for 350 yards, but they lost to Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Was it a field goal?
Yeah.
It was the last second.
So-
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of believe that I think they're going to be a lot more in tune with each other this week. It kind of reminded me of last year's game one. But as we've been saying, this is the preseason of the regular season.
Yep.
You got 4 games to put it together.
Yep.
And losing one game doesn't matter how you lose it, 40-0, or if we would have lost 27-25 because they had a chance at the very end, it wouldn't have been the biggest deal in the world. Lots of concern. They got to come out and play a lot better than they did.
Yeah.
But this is what happens when you don't play in the preseason.
Yeah. And I'm going to be honest, if it sucks losing 40-0, I would hate, it'd be more devastating for me if we were to lose, like you said, 27-25. That would have been more like, because like right there, you had the hope, you had everything, and then it just gets taken away from you.
Yeah.
Right. But, I mean, in your case, it's like everything was just going wrong.
Oh,
And
quicksand.
And then it was like, it seemed to me in the middle of the fourth quarter, they just wanted to leave.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, in replacements, or what's his name said in replacement, it's called quicksand.
Right.
Couldn't do nothing right. Absolutely nothing. But luckily, I have a hat that can, cover my ego. Say what?
I said we saw the videos of everyone leaving.
Yeah.
And now, from the stadium, it was just, I mean, from guys taking off their jerseys and slamming them on the ground and walking away and not even looking back to guys just throwing their hats. And it was just, I get it, but at the same time, it's like,
That's one of those games the coach should take that ball, that game ball, and burn it. Don't even bury it. Just burn it. Put it in one of those barrels and throw it in there and be like, all right, fellas, it's done. It's gone.
Yep. Well, it is gone. That's it.
Yeah.
Week one's over.
Week one. Yeah, officially two. Now. Week one is over.
So, let's talk about week 2. And I guess we might as well start with my game. As of right now, the Eagles are a 6.5-point favorite and a 49.5 over under.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I got 7.
Okay, I've seen it at 7. I have seen it at 7.
Yeah.
Changed it.
And the 40. Oh, shoot. Who wants to go first?
I mean, I'll go first since it is my team and we are playing well. I think they are going to come back a little bit stronger. We had the Vikings last year, and we had Monday Night Football. After coming from Detroit, we had the first game on the road, came home to a primetime game, and destroyed the Vikings. I feel like the Vikings going on the road on a quick turnaround after that loss, that team may be a little deflated. They came back, they watched how Green Bay just dismantled the Bears. They saw Detroit win against the Chiefs, and now they are just above the Bears.
Yep.
So I think they're going to be a desperate team. I think when you have desperation and Cousins, who doesn't know how to play with the spotlight on him, creates happy feet, and happy feet create turnovers. And I think that's what's going to happen.
What's your prediction on the score?
I got us 31-23.
So you're over. Okay.
Over.
Okay, I'll Parkland, you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay, good.
I mean, I agree with everything Philly said. I think Kirk doesn't know how handle the bright lights, and I know that from experience. I like Eagles. I think I'm thinking it's going to be 31-17, and I think two of those touchdowns are going to come off defensive touchdowns. I think there's going to be a pick six and maybe even a fumble recovery for a touchdown.
Wow.
Okay, I'll let you be last, but not the least. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna root for Kurt this year until I don't think. Are we playing Minnesota? Yeah, I'm gonna root for Kirk Cousins this year. I saw Quarterback on Netflix, and he really inspired me. Okay, just because I got to see who he was.
Oh, he's a great guy.
And I want to see great things happen. Not to take anything away from the Eagles or Hurts. I do see a pick six coming from Kirk Cousins. I see him recovering, but then I also could see a fumble recovery from Hurts as well for a touchdown. So that being said, I'm gonna go under, and I'm gonna say 17-21. I think it's gonna be a little close because with you guys keep talking about it being a preseason-esque 4 games or whatnot. I think they're still trying to find themselves. And, you're right, Philly. Belichick did have a good scheme with Hurts, and I didn't see all the games, so I can't really talk for the whole game. But and I know that fumble hurt him a little bit at the end of the game, but we'll see. And so I'm going to say 21-17 Minnesota. It's going to be a close game.
I do think that's going to be a close game. And I think it's going to be a field goal situation, in my opinion. And I'm seeing that based on from what I saw, again, just from the highlights that I saw from the Eagles. And this is week 2. Kirk Cousins is just, like you guys emphasized, that he can't do much under the bright lights. But I think he will do something this week. And because of it's a short turnaround and because it's going into a hostile environment, where he's played with against Philly several times when he was with Washington. So I think it's going to be a little tighter game. I don't think they're going to have, I'm just going to have the Eagles by 2.
I thought you were going to be with me.
No,
I thought you were going to be with me.
Again, it's those bright light situations. I think it's going to be closer. I think it's going to be like 29-27. I think that field goal it's going to be a field goal situation. They're just not going to get there.
Gotcha.
All right, and I got a little hot take. My little hot take here is after the Vikings lose this game, the Jets trade for Cousins.
Oh. Because, he is on the last year's contract. Okay.
Last year of his contract.
Okay.
This year would be the perfect scenario. He's not paid a lot this year because it was all front-loaded. And I would see that the Vikings going 0-2 could go to their backup Hall or Mullins.
Wow.
A little bit of a hot take.
Hey, I would like that for the Jets, to be honest with you. I feel bad. I seriously feel bad for them. Those fans.
All right. The next game I see, everybody plays it. So the next game is a 4:05 game since everybody plays at 4 o'clock on Sunday. The 4:05 game is the Giants at the Arizona Throwers.
Yeah, and they got Giants at 6. Can you believe that?
I got it at 5.5 and 39.5.
Yeah, I got 6 and 40. Look, this is going to be our rebound game. It's not going to be a revenge game. I would like to say we're going to win 41-0, but that'd be a lie. I do see us going. I'm going to go. Is it over? I don't know. Quick math. Yeah, I think it is over. No. It's going to be over. I'm going to say 24-17 Giants. Everybody's going to get back on track. I believe that we need to win by at least a touchdown. But we'll take a win However, because the next 2 weeks is just going to be brutal. It's a brutal schedule. So Giants 24, Arizona 17.
So I'll go next year before you guys go. When I see a 5.5 point line, that's an underdog line. Something tells me the Cardinals sneak one out of this one.
Oof.
Sneaking in the house, they sneak one out. They sneak one out. And I say they win this game 17-13.
And I will be at that game, by the way. I will be there.
I see something going to that fact as well. I think the Cardinals are going to be playing a little bit dirty, as Jeff had alluded to earlier. Where he said that, you know, I did see the whole head roll with the feet thing. But I think Arizona is going to be playing a little bit frustrated, as they will during the rest of the season. And we got them the week after. So I'm going to take Arizona in this one as well. I'm going to take Arizona in this one by 21-14.
So I think the Giants are going to not score any more points again. I think it's going to be a shutout. It's going to be a tie, 0-0 now.
You're an ass.
I think the Giants are going to rebound. I think Saquon's going to have a big game. Daniel Jones will bounce back. I can see a 17-13 Giants win. I think it'll be low scoring. But I just hope your offense makes it out of there, because those defenses are head hunting.
And also, too, Arizona's not disciplined. But they had like 9 penalties for what I got, 122 yards last game.
Yeah.
If you have a non-disciplined team, you don't win games when you're not disciplined in the defensive schemes at minimum, or just as a team in general.
Like I said, I just hope your offensive players make it out of there healthy. Because
yeah, tell me about it.
It's scary, man.
And Philly, how the hell are you going to say the coach sucks in Arizona,
That's why
but then go with Arizona?
That's why he's saying it.
Right.
Well, I know. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Next game, I have at 4:25. The Jets travel to the Dallas Cowboys, and we have a 9-point spread, and 38.5 is the over-under.
Cowboys are going to go over. We're going to take it. We're going to go offensive on this ball. The defense is playing well for the Jets, don't get me wrong. But I think the scheme of things, McCarthy, again, we're going to go in there. Dak Prescott have two passing touchdowns. We'll have 2 rushing touchdowns. We'll have a couple of field goals sprinkled in there. And I think we're going to hold the Jets to under 14. I think, we're going to go in there. So I'm going to say 31-14.
That's no shock. I mean, the reason why it bumped up to 9, we all know. Okay. And I'm going to say right now, I'll be what I saw. I'll be shocked if the Jets get more than 7 points. I mean, you're being generous by saying 14, just because of that defense. And from what I saw Monday night, I did not watch the whole game. The Jets offensive line. Look, Rodgers got hurt because he was trying to run away.
Great against the run.
Yeah.
Great against pass.
So, but that being said, Jets win 7-0. No, let me stop. I'm just gonna stay with that. I'm gonna say they're gonna go under.
I think Cowboys are going to run away with the game. It's going to be 38-9. The Jets has a great defense, but guess what? They're going to be on the field. Cowboys going to be running the ball, and I mean, Jets offense, besides their running game, they're staying ground. So their defense is going to be on the run.
I think it's going to be close. I'm sorry. Did you say the score yet?
Yeah, I said 38-9.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot closer. I think that there may be a little sniffing of themselves. The defense is going to be a defensive game in general. I think it's the reason why it's going to be under 38.5 because it's almost pushing you to be 38.5. I think that the Cowboys are going to win this game because they're not going to be able to score points on the other side. So I have it like 19-10 Cowboys.
Okay.
4 field goals and a touchdown. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's a defensive touchdown, not an offensive touchdown. Now that I can understand where you guys are coming from because I could think that there'd be a lot of turnovers on the Jets side, which could lead to easy points for the Cowboys. But I don't think it's going to wind up that way. I think that it's going to be a field possession game, and it's going to be fairly close. So I got it 19-10. And then the last game I have is the Commanders travel to the Broncos. 38. It's a 3.5 point underdog for the Commanders, and 38.5 over under.
Go ahead, Pork Ryan.
Yeah.
Who's your guys?
Man, I can't go against my team, but
Oh hell.
no, I think Hal's gonna bounce back. I think Eric Bieniemy is gonna be. Hopefully, he's in that offensive butt, all week long during practice, and just getting those guys to rally. Hopefully, the offensive line blocks better. I think Jahan Dotson's going to have a big game. Patrick Surtain's probably going to be shadowing Terry McLaurin, so that should get Dotson some touches. So I'm going to say it's going to be a 21-20 Commanders win.
There you go.
I guess I'll go. Damn, Pork Ryan, you said my guys were going to win too. Something is telling me that Russ wants to cook this game. I don't know why. I just have a feeling that Sean Payton and Russell are going to get it together this week, but it's still going to be close. I think it's going to be, but it's going to be like one of those close games. I'm going to go over. And the only reason why I'm saying that, maybe I need to go back to the line. I can't remember if what you call it, your quarterback threw for 200 yards. Was it 200 yards?
Yeah, it was like 206.
Yeah. That's one reason why I'm but anyway, that being said, I know we're running low on time. I'm going to say Broncos 28-24.
I'm gonna take the. This is going to be a tight game, but I still don't think the Broncos are going to have it all in check. I think Washington's going to go in there. The kid's going to be starting his first away game. I think it is going to be a close game, and it's going to be a touchdown. But I think the score is going to be 23-16 Commanders. I just don't think that the Broncos are going to be in stride. I don't think everybody's going to be riding whatever Russell Wilson's going to want to be riding on. But
Let's ride.
I just don't see it. I see the Commanders going in there, and I see the kid wanting to win his first road game.
I have it very similar to what you guys are saying, except I'm going the other way. I think this is a 19-17 game, another 19 score. You never get to see those ever, but this is going to be this is a field goal game again. I think that both offenses stink, you know what I mean, and the defenses are stronger. And I think because of that, it's going to be, again, more field goals. But like I said, 19-16, 19-17 with the last second field goal of like 67 yards. I swear it's going to be like the new all-time because they're kicking it in the low atmosphere, and it's going to be a 67-yard field goal to either win it or lose it. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's 17-16 Washington or 19-17 Denver, but I think either way it's under.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Who
and
you
listen, we
picking,
win.
though? Who you picking?
I'm going Denver.
Okay.
Denver 1917. So I think they
I
make
thought you were
the
about to do a
67
push.
winner. I think they make the
push.
Yeah, no push. But and listen, we went a little bit long today, but this is what happens when all four of us are in the house. You know, we get to talk a little bit and we get to tell you exactly what's going on. So if you missed this show, I do replay it, but we know that Stephen A. Smith watches our show, so you'll hear all our points on his show tomorrow as well. So Stephen A., I'm looking for my royalty check so I can split it amongst these guys. In the meantime, everybody, enjoy this week. And as always, since we didn't do this last week,
Ow!
go Birds!
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! All right, guys, have a great one, and we'll see
All right,
you
brother.
next week.
No commanders?